Tonight we're talking about the very beginning. Before I started uploading to YouTube, I actually had a claim to fame. And a lot of people out there, they think anything that I say has no merit because I went on Steve Harvey's Big Time and kicked myself in the nuts. Now, there's a lot to talk about with this, but I think the first thing to do is to watch it. So, this was in 2004. YouTube doesn't exist. It is a glimmer in the eye of whoever the f made YouTube. Don't know who it is. Can't remember their name. Probably how they would have wanted it. I was on forums, and I found that there were forums in which people were doing casting calls for various, I guess, reality programming. Now, I was uninterested in reality programming, but I was big into Jackass. I loved Tom Green. I loved Jackass. I loved South Park. Those are kind of things that informed my actions, both in comedy and just in general. I noticed a casting thread for a craziest person in America competition. Now, I did not consider myself to be the craziest person in America. I still don't. However, I did know I could do something that was pretty funny. And with that, I think let's watch.
Now let me show you what I mean, because here's this guy right here. This guy, y'all, I had to show you this tape, because this is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen from a man's standpoint. There you go. Show this tape.
I can kick myself in the
Fairly certain they dubbed that sound in. I can't tell you whether they did or didn't. I think that sound was theirs. I think any sound effects were probably dubbed in on their end.
You like that, Hollywood?
You like that, Hollywood?
So I sent that in. Steve Harvey doing the face. Yeah, the video quality is pretty awful. But he's doing the face. He's doing the Steve Harvey face. He looks at white people on Family Feud, and his face turns into that a lot of the time.
When you just haul off.
He's really chewing on this. He also got pretty close.
Right in your own zipper. You're sending this tape in. Now, let me show you something, folks. I'm going to show you that this works. Just so to prove to you that if you're sending in the right tape, it'll land you a spot right here on this stage. Please welcome the groin kicker himself, Peter Coffin.
Steve clocks me pretty hard here.
Pete, how you doing?
I'm good, Steve.
Hold on, wait, I gotta show you this. Step over here. Did you notice how Peter was walking out? This is the look of a guy that's fitting to kick himself in the nuts.
Well, Steve, it's actually called autism.
That's exactly what it is, Steve.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah. Let me get on this side.
I had no idea at that point. It was like, yes, that is what it is. It is that, and it's not any kind of neurodivergence or anything. That is the look of a man fitting to kick himself in the zipper.
I mean, when you first discovered it, where were you?
I was in art class in high school a couple of years ago. Me and my friends were talking about kicking yourself in the head, and somehow it changed.
You tried to kick yourself in the head and your foot didn't go up that high?
No, basically...
I'm like, you can see I'm not standing up straight either. Like, I am nervous as shit.
Just turned into a conversation about kicking yourself in the nuts. And everybody's like sitting there like, oh, let's all try it. So we all got up, and I was the only one that went down.
Can you do it right now in front of the crowd? Let's get right up here.
Like look how I'm standing. It's so, like, my shoulders are all fucked and, ugh.
See it. Look at, wait a minute, hold up. All the guys are going, oh, God. Not in front of me.
Steve is he's such a good fucking showman. Also, I look like the biggest frickin' nerd. Look at my face. I'm like, I get ya. I get it. You're nervous about what this would feel like for you. Ha 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 ha. He's funny, this man. He is pointing that out, and it's funny. I am actually not a bad show person. At this point, I had been a radio DJ for several years. Like, people found me interesting. However, this was something that had me nervous as shit.
Me. Okay, come on, Peter, let me see.
All right, here we go. I'm just going to stay here for a second.
He's got that Burt Kreischer laugh, man. I got him going.
Well, folks, listen up. The bar has been set.
Yeah,
How far will you go?
You can tell there's an edit there. Like, they cut. He's laughing like this, and they cut to this DJ woman, and they're back, and he's just like completely back in normal mode.
Well, folks, listen up. The bar has been set. How far will you go to be on TV? That's the deal. Now, before you start sending in tapes, please don't send me nothing like you running down the freeway naked, screaming, "This is for you, Steve! Steve, this..."
At this point, I'm just kind of like laughing at him because he's funny. And also, I don't know why he still has me out there. Like, to be honest, like I had just kicked myself in the nuts. It hurt. And he's now talking about something completely different.
This is for you. No, it's not. That's not for me. And please, whatever you do, don't get yourself or anybody else hurt. That's not what we want. We want you to be crazy, but we don't want you to be dangerous. In short, you cannot win a contest if you dead. So give it up for Peter, everybody. We'll be back to Steve Harvey's Big Time.
So yeah, how did I have kids after that? I'll give you a couple of small insight. Well, not small. You'll get the point. First off, you can be injured in the nuts and not have it destroy your reproductive system. 2, I'm not actually kicking myself in the nuts. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this that isn't like overtly a problem. But the bigger target in that area is not my nuts. And believe it or not, kicking yourself in the dick doesn't really do anything but hurt a whole bunch. That's the secret. I'm really kicking myself in the dick. I mean, I could show you the one from the Free Speech Extreme documentary. That one, it very clearly shows what's going on in the region.
Start characterizing the person individually, like try to discredit them because one time they were on a national TV show hosted by Steve Harvey and they kicked themselves in the nuts.
Please welcome the groin kicker himself, Peter Coffin. Come on, Peter, let me see.
All right, here we go.
I can still do it too, see? Ooh.
No sound. No sound. But I'm also wearing something very skimpy. And you can tell what's going on.
Oh, that still sucks.
I said, oh, that still sucks. Oh, that still sucks. Duh. That's what's going on, though. I actually am shielding my balls with my dick. It's okay. My balls are completely fine. Because my dick is right there in between my foot and them. Ah. Yeah. No, it actually really sucks. It really does suck. It's much... Here's the thing, though. It's much funnier to say I kicked myself in the nuts than I kicked myself in the dick. Like, it's just much funnier sounding. Rolls off the tongue better. Anyway, got a little taste of fame there. Got to be on the national TV. People liked it. I had people talking to me about that everywhere I went. And although I was very nervous during that appearance, I don't think I actually came off bad. The story I told Steve was funny about the art class. I executed it well. The punchline was good. So anyway, I got a taste of fame. Everywhere I went in Southwest Michigan, people knew that I had been on television, and they knew me from the radio, and they thought, this guy's going somewhere. So everybody was like, are you going to take advantage of the fact that people know who you are? You're going to push yourself? You're going to try to get yourself out there? You're going to try to do stand-up comedy or something? You're going to try to get a show or something? Well, something you will find interesting is that when I was at Steve Harvey's Big Time, I met a lot of people. The head writer, who was actually a head writer for the Andy Dick Show as well. I can't remember his name. John Matta. Cool guy, though. I liked him. I haven't talked to him in a while. I should probably say something to him. I'm not very good at friendships. Yeah, dissident, exactly. If all I got to do is this to get on TV, then I totally got this, is precisely what anyone that young would think. That's precisely what I thought. And, okay, so I kept saying I met a bunch of people behind the scenes, and most of them advised me, you don't actually want to pursue a TV show or any of that shit, because if you have some idea of like how to make something funny, they're not going to want to do it. Like I said, John Matta, the head writer at Steve Harvey's Big Time, who was also the head writer at the Andy Dick Show, he was not particularly fond of how MTV dealt with him as the head writer of the Andy Dick Show, if I remember correctly. He and I can't remember who else, but there were multiple people who were like, you don't want to pursue your own comedy show. It's not going to turn out how you want it to, assuming you actually do it. And I had already been kind of posting videos, and I was making money off of it. They were like, pursue that. That's going to be the next big thing. Just pursue that. So I did. I kept pursuing that. And then YouTube happened. And I kind of scoffed at YouTube. I kind of scoffed at it a bit. And I'll tell you why. Rever is a pre-YouTube video hosting site that had ads on it, and they paid you to put videos on it. Those sites, the sites that were paying people to make things, must be the next big thing, right? Well, no. YouTube launched in November of 2005. I scoffed at it for a couple of months, and it grew very quickly within those couple of months. And in January, on January 17th, 2006, I took the plunge. Yep. See, this was before you knew what this would bring. You wouldn't post this video now. Why? Well, because it's my foot.
Hey, look, it's my foot. Ah! Check it out.
Not so standard features.
Your foot is on it.
All new German.
Check it out. It's my foot. Hey! Hey, check it out.
Risking their life.
That's good time.
Hey!
911, all new at 9.
It's my foot.
Wednesday.
Hey!
Okay, I don't have a WikiFeet page, Dissident and Ben. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if I have a WikiFeet page. I don't think I have a WikiFeet page. Now, if I don't have one at this moment, and I do have one in the near future, we know that I caused it today. So that was my first YouTube video. I posted another couple of YouTube videos that were along these lines.
Hello there. How are you doing today? I'm driving my mom's van right now because my car does not work. The engine exploded in it. There was luckily a chunk of it left over that I was able to look at. But
it sounds like I'm saying something that's not true, but it is actually true. There was a chunk of my engine that blew out the side of it. I was driving an 86 Buick Riviera. That was my first car, and the engine blew up.
I'm driving my mom's van right now. This really isn't that notable to videotape, except for my mom apparently drives around.
What's notable is the fact that I said the words videotape. And I would like to mention to you, the camera I am using here does not operate on tapes. The camera I used to film these first few videos was actually a little flip camera that used Sony's predecessor to the SD card, the Sony memory stick. And this camera used that. No tapes, but I had been used to using camcorders that used mini DV tape. And before that, digital 8 tape, which was 8mm tape recorded digitally.
This really isn't that notable to videotape, except for my mom apparently drives around with a giant freaking table obstructing her viewpoint all the time. I've driven her van before, and it's always back there, and I figured I should be just a little bit more unsafe and videotape myself talking about it while driving. That's right, I figured I'd operate some filming equipment while driving with my viewpoint obstructed, and you know, that kind of thing. I don't really know why I'm videotaping this, because it's an event happening, and I just wanted to be a little bit more unsafe driving this van by activating my camera and operating it, all while not being able to see anything going on except for in front of me. And I'm not even looking in front of me because I'm looking at this camera. I should probably stop now, because that's really all I wanted to say. I wanted to talk about the table. I should probably stop now.
True innovation right there. Joe Paradise says, anticipating the white dudes ranting in their cars genre. Anticipating? Motherfucker! I invented that shit. I did not invent vlogging from my car. I think Naltz might have done that. Kevin Nalte. Rever. We picked up Naltz on Rever. I still have Naltz as a Facebook friend. But I did videos like that for a while. I'm going to do one more of these videos. These are, by the way, these are all public now. You can find them on the Classic P playlist on my YouTube channel. This is a video I recorded at Rock 107 WIRX's studio, where I was a rock DJ. You can see a Wedding Crashers poster. Look at that Wedding Crashers poster. So this video is called Blinking or Winking.
Hey everybody, it's me, Peter. Here to play a little game with you. It's called, is he blinking or is he winking? Let's go. Is he blinking or is he winking? Blinking!
What a game show, right? What a format.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to pause it this time.
Is he blinking or is he winking?
Guesses? Turns out Peter has always been autistic. Yes, we're thinking this is a wink. Well, we know the first one was a blink. So, did I pull a fast one here? Is this a wink? Oh,
winking!
Oh, shit! You got it. Now, I think what's interesting about blinking or winking is it probably is from autism. It's probably thinking, you know what? Facial expressions, you can kind of tell certain things are different about them if they happen certain ways. It's probably literally like autistic processing of some kind. You know, half of the face looks different when it's a wink versus when it's a blink. I noticed that.
Oh my god! Whoa!
Oof. Oof.
Is he blinking or is he winking? Winking!
Blinking, winking videos as gold standard diagnosis for autism. Well, it's funny you should say that. The rehearsal. Watch the rehearsal season 2. We'll discuss that at another time. The rehearsal is so fucking good. I very obviously thought it was funny too. Oh, I'm still
is
doing
he blinking?
it. I definitely
he
clicked off this video when I previewed it.
Winking! He's winking! Oh! My head's as big as this thing is wide. My face, anyway. Bye-bye.
Oof. So I made shitty videos like that for a while on YouTube while I was making the big bucks on Rever, putting my produced content there. Oh, making cartoons, making little songs, putting them on Rever. I was posting my videos that took effort there and posting my non-effort videos on YouTube because YouTube was getting a lot of traffic. And I figured, oh, if people know who I am there, maybe they'll go to my Rever and they'll see my videos where I put effort, which is just such a confusing logic. So we've got one more video. This one is probably my favorite of my first year of YouTube. I don't know if this was filmed for YouTube though. So The Fast and the Furious was making a sequel and they put out a call for auditions on the internet. And as you know, me and internet auditions mixed together pretty well. That's how I got on Steve Harvey's Big Time. Same thing happened here. This was after Too Fast, Too Furious. They post a casting call to get audition tapes from the internet. And I did not actually want to be in the movie. I wanted to waste their time.
Trying out for the part of Sean in Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo.
Maybe you don't care because you drive that broke-ass piece of shit.
This broke-ass piece of shit will run your little pony into the ground!
Sean finishes tossing books in his locker as he slams it closed and is surprised to find the beautiful girl from the cafeteria standing there.
Hey!
He busts out the only Japanese he knows.
Konbawa arigato ondongo atama!
You just said, hello, goodbye, dumpling head. That's the thing about Japan, Gaijin. Nothing is as it seems.
Gaijin! What's that?
Foreigner, outsider, animal. You. Tanny wants faster. Sean likes the challenge. Matches stride.
My name's Sean! Look! This is my ticket in! I beat him, so they have to accept me!
But you're not gonna beat him.
Watch me!
Go home, Gaijin.
Couldn't even if I wanted to! I've never lost a street race!
That's great. Except this isn't a street race.
What?
It's a drift race.
Get some sleep! What are you doing here? I can't go home yet! I can live with the fact that I messed up my life, but I've hurt people here! Tani's paying for my mistakes, just like everyone always has to pay for my mistakes!
Sean turns to his mom.
I'm not gonna run!
I think you got this.
I got a feeling. Hello?
Hi, this is Kirk Memphis, casting director for Fast and the Furious 3.
Yeah?
I'm calling in regards to the tryout that you sent us. We were wondering if you would be interested in the part of...
Sean? Is it Sean?
No, it's not Sean. But it's a different part, and we think that you would be just perfect for it. Hello, are you there?
Yeah. I just really had my heart set on Sean.
Well, see, we were thinking...
I'm going to Tokyo! Ah! Yeah!
I've heard people here. It's so obviously just designed so that when a casting director watches it, they will either think it's the funniest thing in the world, which is extremely unlikely, or they will think it's the worst thing they've ever seen and be so angry. Either of those two things would have been extremely satisfying for me, and there's no way to ever know. I will never know what a casting director thought when they were going through all the tapes that were submitted and they got to that one, because I did submit that for real. There's really some really funny lines. That video is much funnier than the bullshit videos that I was uploading. That, to me, that's a real video. That type of thing is the kind of thing the internet's designed for. There isn't really a place for that on another medium. This was actually an audition, technically, for Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. I wanna go through a couple of my favorites out of the lines here, because a few of them really cracked me up. Also, my brother Patrick, who's producing my album, That Darn Racket. He's producing it. He's mixing it, mastering it, doing all the production. He was the one reading the lines on the other end of it. Another line I really like is when Sean introduces himself to somebody, and the way that I say that I am Sean I'm completely.
Tanny wants faster. Sean likes the challenge. Matches stride.
My name's Sean!
Sean likes the challenge. Matches stride. My name's Sean! Oh my God. With Patrick reading like the direction. It's just like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I should not have stopped doing this because this is really funny in my opinion. Like this, I can easily go back to and laugh my ass off at something I did, which is not easy for me to do. Like what I could do is I could get a subscription to Backstage and just start submitting these. But like the problem is, and this is, in my opinion, a very funny format. I think it's something that I could do and should do, maybe even will do. But I'd have to figure out some way for them not to just be the same thing over and over again, because that would drive me nuts. But man, I am tooting my own horn. This is funny as shit. I'm so proud of this. It's one of my favorite comedy pieces that I've ever. This is just so stupid. It's so stupid. There was another thing that I did that was like this. There were often contests like this. There was one for The Punisher. The content that I created for The Punisher doesn't exist anywhere, but I will be more than happy to perform the content for you after I explain what the contest was. So this was an era when movies had songs. So the Punisher movie was soliciting people send them songs as a competition to have their song in the Punisher movie. So I did submit a song to the Punisher film competition. Now, it is unfortunate that I do not have an MP3 of it because it was one of the funniest fucking things of all time, because it was a long MP3 of like probably a 15-second loop. It was probably like 6 minutes of it. The Punisher is a gay man. The Punisher is gay. The Punisher is a gay man. The Punisher is gay. Now, what I'm doing right now is using AI to make a song out of vocals. Here, we're using it to recreate a piece of lost media, an incredible song written for the Punisher movie that was sadly not included in the soundtrack for some reason. Somebody involved in the actual production of a Punisher movie who was sifting through songs, trying to find the next big hit, the thing that would be like the Wild Wild West song for the Punisher, sifted through and eventually came to The Punisher is a gay man. The Punisher is gay. The Punisher is a gay man. The Punisher is gay. The Punisher is a gay man. The Punisher is gay. The Punisher is a gay man. This is what I should have been doing the whole fucking time. But I will say this. I did pursue this, and I did make a lot of cringe shit. We are going to go over the cringe shit, though. We are going to bake in the cringe as this year goes on. I am going to do these streams, and we are going to go over some of the old shit, and we are going to go, ooh, why did you do that, Peter? I'm going to spend the rest of this year, probably a lot of next year, doing a retrospective of the crazy nonsense I've done. You are invited to come back. I'm going to do it every week. If we meet the super chat goal, I will do 2 in a week. And then we're going to start thinking about, like, what's some shit I could do nowadays that's more like this? Because this is better. I'm sorry, but this is better. My documentaries, I'm very proud of. Packed, the podcast I did with ACD, I'm very proud of. My books, I'm very proud of. I'm not going to abandon any of those enterprises. I'll do sociology content in long form on the Very Important Docs channel in my book. God willing, certain podcasts might come back sometime in the medium term. That's what this channel is for right now. Because honestly, let's just go ahead and say this. People are starting to like me again for some reason. It's partly due to Justin Wang. He credited me for creating the gay fuel energy drink meme on you'rethemanNowDog.com, which is, by the way, a sentence that absolutely nobody under any circumstance should understand. But there are people that do. And he brought me up and he put me in a video, and it's gotten a bunch of people looking into me. I want to start having fun again with this channel. It's not that I want to stop making serious stuff or that I'm going to stop talking about serious stuff. This channel should be fun. We should be trying to pursue something enjoyable in life. Like, as all of these bread tubers, audiences stopped caring, the traffic went down, they stopped growing, and they don't have anything else to say. They just find a new topic and they say the same thing again about that topic. Capitalism is bad, vote for Democrats. That's exactly what it is. It was people saying capitalism is bad and not doing anything to progress that analysis beyond that, which means it became a fetish. Doesn't matter if they're saying capitalism is bad. It ultimately became a capitalism naturalizing ideology, a system naturalizing ideology, because it's simply a symbol, a fetish, a t-shirt, a product that you can buy and consume, and thus just a thing that keeps the wheels turning. But I just want to have some goddamn fun. It's not just BreadTube that sucks, though. Almost everything is just this same passionless, what works shit. I get onto YouTube and everything is slop, for lack of a better word. I don't like the word slop. I don't like using it to characterize stuff, but I'm using it in this case because everybody talks about AI making all of this slop. AI is reducing the quality of things because AI, it just takes all of the old stuff and rehashes it. But everything is that in some way. Everything is something old, recontextualized, and used to communicate something.
By the time I got to the METHOD, man, METHOD, man, that was already etched in my head from, METHODOFLOVE, Big Hall and Oates.
Yeah. So you put like 3 songs together and made your own shit.
A bunch of shit.
Wait, and you're 15 years old? You did that at 15 years old?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what creates slop or soulless art. It's not artificial intelligence. So bubblegum pop, when people talk about how they hate bubblegum pop, they hate it because it's just this rehashed shit. Really what it is they hate an aggregate of previously successful works that isn't trying to communicate anything. That's what they don't like. And that's why people don't like AI, but they don't realize that that's what they don't like, because AI is a novel technology. It's something that they can blame the problem on. Slop or soulless art is art that is an aggregate of what has been previously prominent, i.e. previously successful. It's just an aggregate of those things because you're thinking, well, this worked, so it'll probably work if I do it too. Or if I do part of that and mix it with this part of that. Good art, whether it is made with the assistance of AI as a tool or not. Good art, or at least intriguing art, is used to communicate something. That's it. I will also say it's not like one or the other. Probably about everything exists on a spectrum in between these things. There's not really anything that's just purely not a commodity, Like, this is a commodity. The fun that I'm trying to have here, the fun that I want to have in the near future, it's a commodity. I'm making it as a commodity. I'm putting it out there using YouTube, which is a capitalistic platform with built-in incentives. I think most things actually aren't slop, even the things that we would generally categorize as slop. Most things people make to communicate something, even if it's not, like, good. But a lot of the time, it's more an aggregate of things that they know work. This is why I don't really like the word slop, because I don't really genuinely believe there's anything that isn't trying to communicate something. And I don't really believe that any piece of art is entirely worthless, including the most capitalistic slop. I think there's something of value there, even when it's garbage. And it's also why I don't really love calling things genuine. Like when people say, well, what's the difference between fandom and a genuine community. It's like, well, communities exist in capitalism, and fandom is the social ideology that's used to naturalize capitalism within community. Understand that I'm never saying anything is purely genuine or purely garbage, because most genuine things have some kind of incentive baked in, and most total brain rot has some kind of value somewhere within it. It may not be immediately apparent what that value is. That value might be in it's inspiring some form of critique or inspiring something else. That value, it might be something that is secondary. It might be something that is abstract. What about genuine slop? That's what I make. I make genuine slop. Like, I like to make things as good as it can be, but I also am more than happy to acknowledge that everything I do is derivative in some way. So that Fast and the Furious audition, first off, it's derivative because I'm literally reading the script from the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I don't know if that is the final script. I don't know if Sean was a character in the movie. I don't know if he was a protagonist. I don't know if he said any of the things that I said, but it certainly was derivative of that script. But it also was derivative of Tom Green. I'm doing the thing that he does on the street with a microphone to somebody else. I'm doing it in a different form. Everything is derivative in some way. And I'm more than happy to admit that, because I don't give a shit about intellectual property. I don't give a shit about property. If something is value generating property, I think there's a problem, because that means enclosure has happened. It was really good talking to all of you, though. I hope you enjoyed the classic P.